My beloved child. Silence has surrounded this message longer than you realize, and the weight of what was held back has pressed against the unseen walls of your spirit. What you are about to receive was not delayed out of neglect, but out of protection, because timing matters when truth arrives. The opening of this message carries a quiet intensity, the kind that settles in the heart before the mind understands it, and everything that follows unfolds with purpose. There was a reason the nights felt heavier than usual and the days demanded more strength than you thought you had. What appeared as emptiness was actually a space being cleared, a preparation that happened beyond your awareness. The truth that was hidden did not disappear, it matured, waiting until you were strong enough to hold it without breaking. This message does not rush, because what it carries deserves to be felt slowly. Each word is meant to rest, not strike, to awaken, not overwhelm. The beginning holds suspense because revelation is not loud, it is steady and undeniable. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says the truth was never meant to harm you, even though it carries pain. It was hidden because growth was happening in silence, and your spirit was being trained through endurance rather than explanation. Strength was forming in places you did not know existed. Write to comment and stay present with this message. The pain you sensed but could not name was real, yet it was not punishment. It was refinement, shaping clarity where confusion once lived. You were being protected from knowing too much too soon, because premature truth can wound deeper than silence. You continued moving forward even without answers, and that perseverance mattered more than immediate understanding. What you endured without explanation built a foundation that can now support revelation. This is why the truth arrives now, not earlier. There were moments when you questioned your own resilience, yet you never stopped showing up. That consistency rewired your inner strength and prepared you for what is being unveiled. The truth does not arrive to reopen wounds, but to close cycles. What was hidden involved the depth of your own capacity, something even you underestimated. You were being prepared to see yourself clearly, without illusion or doubt. This clarity could not come while you were still fragile. Amen. 333. The truth that was concealed was not about failure, but about transition. You were stepping out of an old version of yourself while still wearing it, and that tension created discomfort. The silence you experienced was the sound of transformation working quietly. Others could not explain what you were going through because it was not visible on the surface. Internally, layers were shifting, and your awareness was being sharpened. This is why things felt intense even when nothing obvious changed. You were not abandoned in that season, even when it felt isolating. Guidance surrounded you, unseen but precise, ensuring you did not lose yourself while shedding what no longer belonged to you. Protection often feels like distance before it feels like peace. The painful truth was that you had outgrown certain spaces, connections, and expectations. That realization carries grief, even when growth is necessary. Letting go of what once felt safe always stings before it liberates. Write to comment and acknowledge your growth. There was also truth hidden about your strength, because you did not yet believe in it fully. You were still looking outward for confirmation, while the real confirmation was being built within. Confidence rooted in experience lasts longer than reassurance given too early. The delay taught you discernment, teaching you to feel rather than assume. This awareness now allows you to recognize what aligns with you and what drains you. That skill will protect you far beyond this moment. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says the pain you felt was not a sign of weakness but evidence of expansion. Growth stretches the inner world before it reshapes the outer one. What felt uncomfortable was actually alignment happening. You are now able to hold truth without losing your balance. This stability was earned through patience, not force. The truth can finally rest in you without shaking your foundation. Amen. 444. There were lessons hidden inside that silence that could not be taught any other way. You learned to listen inwardly instead of chasing noise. This internal clarity now guides you more reliably than external opinions ever could. The truth also reveals why certain doors closed without explanation. They were not failures, they were redirections that preserved your energy. What is meant to last does not require constant struggle to remain. You were protected from settling for less than your depth. The discomfort prevented complacency and pushed you toward authenticity. This process demanded endurance, and you met it with quiet courage. Even now, as you read this, understanding may unfold gradually rather than all at once. That is intentional. Integration takes time, and truth settles in layers. Write to comment and let this message anchor in you. There is also truth about the timing of your recognition. You are now in a place where awareness brings empowerment rather than fear. Earlier, it may have brought doubt or self-blame. The painful truth includes acknowledging how much you carried alone. That recognition honors your resilience rather than diminishing it. You survived more than you realized. You were never meant to remain in survival mode. This revelation marks the shift from endurance to embodiment. You no longer just get through, you begin to stand fully present. Amen. 555. This message continues because your journey is not brief. Each layer of truth builds upon the last, forming a complete picture of who you are becoming. Nothing was wasted, not even the confusion. The silence shaped your intuition, making it sharper and more reliable. You now sense alignment without needing validation. That inner certainty is a powerful companion. The truth also clarifies that not everyone could walk with you through this transition. That separation was not rejection, it was necessary alignment. Growth often requires solitude before connection deepens again. Write to comment and stay connected to this unfolding. The pain you hid from yourself was not denial, it was self-preservation. You allowed yourself to process at a pace your nervous system could handle. That wisdom kept you grounded. Now, as the truth surfaces, it does so gently, respecting the strength you have cultivated. You are not overwhelmed because you are ready. Readiness changes everything. Amen. 666. You are stepping into a phase where clarity replaces confusion. The truth no longer feels threatening because it aligns with what you already sense internally. Confirmation arrives when inner knowing is ready to meet it. This message does not end abruptly because your transformation is ongoing. Each word is an invitation to trust the process that carried you here. The painful truth no longer defines pain, it defines progress. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Write to comment and ground this message within you. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says what was hidden is now revealed because you can walk with it in strength. You are not who you were when the silence began. You are steadier, wiser, and more aligned. Amen. 777. The moment you thought the silence had finished speaking, another layer began to move beneath the surface. What follows does not arrive suddenly, but steadily, like a slow current pulling awareness deeper than before. This continuation holds a different weight, not because it is heavier, but because you are no longer standing at the edge of understanding. There is a quiet tension at the start of this part, a knowing that something more has been waiting just beyond what was already revealed. The truth does not come in a single wave, it comes in sequences, each one arriving only when the previous one has settled. You are still here because your spirit can handle what unfolds next. Nothing about this continuation is accidental. What remained unsaid before was not forgotten, it was reserved. This part exists because endurance has already proven itself within you. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says what continues now is not correction, but completion. The process did not stop when clarity arrived, it simply changed form. Growth now moves from survival into embodiment. Write to comment and stay present as this continues. What was hidden next was the depth of your influence, something you were never meant to carry prematurely. Influence without grounding can distort identity, so it remained dormant until humility and strength balanced within you. Now that balance exists. You have impacted more than you realize, even in moments you felt unseen. Your endurance created ripples that extended beyond your awareness. Recognition of this truth could only come once ego no longer needed validation. The silence taught you restraint, and restraint refined your presence. You learned to speak without forcing and to act without urgency. This maturity reshaped the energy you bring into every space. Amen. 888. Another truth unfolds regarding the resistance you encountered. What felt like obstacles were actually confirmations that you were moving beyond familiar limits. Resistance appears when expansion threatens old structures. You were not being blocked, you were being redirected toward alignment that required patience. The frustration sharpened discernment and prevented reckless decisions. Protection often disguises itself as delay. There were moments when moving forward felt heavier than standing still. That weight was not meant to stop you, but to slow you enough to notice what mattered. Awareness grows in slowed motion. Write to comment and acknowledge how far you have come. There is also truth in how your emotional depth was shaped. You learned to feel without drowning and to care without losing yourself. This balance did not exist before the silence. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says emotional mastery was cultivated quietly within you. You no longer react from wounds, but respond from clarity. This shift changes everything that follows. Amen. 999. The continuation reveals why clarity arrived in stages. Sudden awareness can fracture identity, but gradual truth integrates smoothly. You were allowed to evolve without shock. Your inner language has changed. What once felt chaotic now feels interpretable. You understand your own signals without confusion. This part also brings awareness of your boundaries. You now recognize where your responsibility ends and where another's begins. This clarity preserves energy and sustains peace. Write to comment and anchor this understanding. There was hidden truth in your fatigue. It was not weakness, it was recalibration. Your system was adjusting to a higher level of awareness. Rest was not avoidance but necessity. Renewal required pauses that could not be rushed. Honoring rest taught you self-respect. Amen. 111. Another layer reveals how your perception sharpened. You now notice subtle shifts in environments and people. This sensitivity is discernment, not vulnerability. You were trained to trust this awareness rather than dismiss it. This trust strengthens intuition and guides choices effortlessly. Alignment feels natural now. The truth also includes acceptance of your complexity. You no longer need to simplify yourself for understanding. Depth is no longer something you apologize for. Write to comment and honor your depth. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says authenticity is now your foundation. You no longer adapt to fit spaces that cannot hold you. This self-respect protects your spirit. Amen. 222. This continuation also speaks of release. You are no longer carrying expectations that were never yours. Letting go created room for clarity and calm. You learned that not every silence needs filling. Some spaces are meant to remain open. This openness allows insight to enter naturally. The truth that was hidden involved patience with yourself. Growth does not require harshness. Compassion accelerates transformation. Write to comment and remain grounded. There is peace in knowing that nothing was lost. Everything that faded made room for something aligned. Trust now replaces urgency. Amen. 333. As this part unfolds, integration becomes the focus. You are no longer searching for answers, you are living them. Understanding moves from thought into embodiment. Your presence now carries steadiness. Others feel it without explanation. This calm influence was shaped through what you endured silently. The truth continues gently, because you now meet it with openness instead of fear. This readiness marks a turning point. Write to comment and receive this continuation fully. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says what remains will unfold naturally. You are aligned with the rhythm of your own becoming. Nothing needs to be forced. Amen. 444. What continues now is quieter, yet deeper, because the truth has moved past revelation and into realization. This part does not arrive with shock or intensity, but with gravity, the kind that changes how you stand rather than how you feel. The suspense here is subtle, carried in the awareness that something permanent is taking root within you. You may notice that this continuation feels slower, more grounded, because urgency is no longer needed. The truth has already entered, now it begins to live inside you. This phase is not about hearing, but about becoming. There is no rush in this unfolding. What is solid does not hurry, and what lasts does not need force. This is where understanding settles into the body, not just the mind. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says this part marks stabilization. You are no longer adapting to truth, you are standing on it. What once felt unfamiliar now feels like home. Write to comment and remain present with what is anchoring within you. The hidden truth continues by revealing how deeply your identity has shifted. You are no longer motivated by proving, pleasing, or performing. Your actions now rise from alignment rather than reaction. This shift explains why certain pursuits no longer excite you. It is not loss of passion, but refinement of direction. Your energy now moves toward meaning rather than momentum. You may notice a calm replacing the need to chase. That calm is not emptiness, it is clarity. Clarity removes the noise that once disguised itself as desire. Amen. 555. Another layer settles regarding your perception of time. You no longer feel late or behind. The pressure to catch up has dissolved because you recognize your timing as precise. The hidden truth was that comparison distorted your self-view. Silence broke that habit and restored self-trust. You now measure progress internally rather than externally. This internal metric brings peace. Progress feels personal again. Growth becomes sustainable when it is not rushed. Write to comment and acknowledge your steadiness. There is also truth in how your emotional responses have softened. Intensity has been replaced by depth. You feel fully without being consumed. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says emotional balance was earned, not given. You learn to hold space for yourself without judgment. This self-regulation strengthens every connection you enter. Amen. 666. The continuation also reveals how your voice has changed. You speak with intention now, not compulsion. Words carry weight because they are chosen carefully. You no longer explain yourself excessively. Clarity does not require justification. This quiet confidence reshapes how others receive you. The truth that was hidden is that silence taught you authority over your own narrative. You decide what is shared and what is kept sacred. Write to comment and honor your discernment. There is truth in your boundaries becoming natural rather than forced. You no longer defend them aggressively. They exist effortlessly because you respect your own limits. This ease signals integration. Boundaries no longer feel like walls, but like definitions. They clarify rather than separate. Amen. 777. Another layer unfolds around trust. You trust your decisions without second-guessing. Doubt no longer overrides intuition. The hidden truth was that trust had to be rebuilt internally before it could extend outward. That rebuilding happened quietly during moments of uncertainty. Now, confidence feels calm instead of loud. Certainty no longer needs announcement. It simply exists. Write to comment and stay grounded. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says this phase is about embodiment. You are living what you once sought to understand. Wisdom has moved into action. Amen. 888. This part also clarifies why certain lessons repeated. Repetition was not failure, it was reinforcement. Mastery requires familiarity. You now recognize patterns without emotional charge. Awareness replaces reaction. This neutrality frees energy for creation rather than correction. The truth no longer feels heavy because it has integrated. What integrates no longer weighs, it supports. Write to comment and breathe into this realization. There is peace in knowing that you are not waiting anymore. Life is meeting you where you stand. Alignment has caught up with effort. Amen. 999. As this continuation settles, you may notice stillness replacing anticipation. Stillness is not stagnation, it is readiness. Movement will come from clarity rather than impulse. You are no longer preparing to become someone else. You are refining who you already are. This refinement is subtle yet powerful. The truth continues without force because it no longer needs to convince you. Recognition has already occurred. Write to comment and remain open. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says what unfolds next will feel natural. You are aligned with your own rhythm. Nothing is missing. Amen. 111. This part arrives without announcement, because what is real no longer needs to prove itself. The energy here is settled, deliberate, and grounded, like something that has already decided where it belongs. There is no suspense created by fear now, only depth created by recognition. You may notice that nothing feels urgent as you move through this continuation. Urgency belonged to earlier stages, when clarity had not yet anchored. Now, awareness moves at a pace that matches your breath. The truth no longer interrupts your life, it blends into it. This is how you know it has become part of you rather than something you are reacting to. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says this phase marks embodiment without effort. You are no longer adjusting yourself to fit truth, truth is adjusting around you. Stability has replaced striving. Write to comment and remain present with this grounded awareness. The hidden truth completes itself by revealing how much you trust yourself now. Decisions no longer feel like risks, but like expressions of alignment. Even uncertainty feels navigable because fear no longer leads. You are not seeking reassurance the way you once did. Confidence has shifted inward and rooted itself quietly. This inner anchoring cannot be shaken by external change. There is peace in knowing you do not need to explain your evolution. Growth speaks through consistency, not defense. You are living proof of your own transformation. Amen. 1212. Another layer settles regarding your relationship with effort. You no longer exhaust yourself trying to make things happen. Action now flows from clarity rather than pressure. You have learned when to move and when to pause. Discernment has replaced impulse. This balance preserves your energy and sharpens your direction. What once felt like resistance now feels like guidance. You recognize redirection without frustration. Acceptance has refined your response. Write to comment and acknowledge this ease. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says the truth was hidden until grace replaced force. What flows now does so because you stopped pushing against yourself. Alignment thrives in gentleness. Amen. 1414. This continuation also reveals how your inner dialogue has softened. Harsh self-evaluation has given way to awareness. You observe yourself without judgment. This shift changed everything. Growth now feels supportive rather than demanding. Compassion has become a tool rather than a weakness. You are no longer afraid of your own depth. You understand it as capacity, not burden. This acceptance stabilizes your presence. Write to comment and stay connected. The truth also completes itself in how you relate to endings. Closure no longer requires explanation. Release happens naturally when understanding is complete. Amen. 1616. There is clarity now about why things unfolded the way they did. Nothing feels random anymore. Even what hurt fits into the larger structure of who you are becoming. You no longer revisit the past to question it. Reflection has replaced rumination. Wisdom has replaced regret. Stillness accompanies this understanding. Stillness confirms integration. You are no longer searching for missing pieces. Write to comment and rest in this knowing. My beloved child, Archangel Michael says you are now walking with the truth rather than carrying it. What once felt heavy now feels supportive. This is completion without finality. Amen. 1818. This part does not close the journey, but it closes the struggle. What comes next will unfold from alignment, not effort. You are prepared without needing preparation. Life will continue to move, but you will meet it differently. Presence replaces anticipation. Trust replaces control. The truth no longer needs words. It lives in how you stand, choose, and remain steady. This is where it settles. Write to comment and let this completion ground within you.